Takara, under whose oversight football flourishes and prospers. Proclaim your gratitude to our illustrious liege through your diligent labors and prayers to the God Emperor. Obstruction of search and inspection procedures will result in immediate execution.
Enter text you wish spoken here.
Enter text you wish spoken here.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, narrator voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, narrator voice speech test. Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, narrator voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, male voice speech test.
They say a little bit of humility never hurt anyone. I help others better themselves by wholeheartedly humiliating them at every step.
The Emperor protects. Why? For a missionary, his temple is the patch of deck beneath his feet. From where I stand, I can clearly see the life of my flock, all its bustling, blooming, and wilting. Here I can see their vile urges, futile hopes, and flashes of sincerity. If I were in the habit of locking myself in a temple, would I have made it in time to intervene in the massacre of your subjects from Kiabagama? No, truth resides not in golden halls, but here, in the square, among the people. Golden halls are home to other, far filthier things. My sermon planted the seed of faith in the heart of another rogue traitor once, Incendia Corda. Perhaps you are destined to become my second fledgling. You think it is so easy to put into words his essence and splendor? The Emperor is the perfect deity that reads our hearts and grants us his light. He led humanity out of darkness and horror. He created our great home. He experienced torment and pain, which only made him stronger. That is a lesson to us all. Purity is not to be found at the bottom of the dirtiest hive or in golden palaces, but only among the ranks of those who suffer.
Argenta silently makes the sign of the Aquila, her bright eyes burning with unyielding flame.
Pray to him, destroy his enemies, and touch not their poison gifts. Cast aside all doubt and be vigilant against the weak souls beside you. When you see a sign of taint, burn it away without pity. Pain is good, it tears the crust of vileness from one's soul. And remember that if you see no fault in you or around you, then you are not being diligent enough in your search, or you are being too lenient on yourself, averting your eyes from the truth. The Emperor's servants, who are they? You speak of the Adeptus Ministorum? Well, these heralds of his word hold great power. Every priest, myself included, is part of its hierarchy, and the ecclesiarchy possesses the unique right to judge what is virtuous and what is malign. The Adeptus Ministorum prays and cares for the temples. It sends missions such as my own to every corner of the dominion of humanity. It fights against heresies.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, male voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader male voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader male voice speech test.
Iconoclast. I imagine it is very advantageous for the ecclesiarchy to pose as a congregation of saints. Forgive me for not buying any of it. And rightly so. The ecclesiarchy harbors plenty of covetous and power-hungry recidivists. They've forgotten what it means to be a shepherd. They've grown soft and sluggish. For too long have their souls and bodies gone without suffering. Many would consider your remarks about the ecclesiarchy to be heretical. And many others would find them truthful. I am a preacher of a radical teaching that renounces fear. I've left the bounds of the blessed Imperium to carry his light into the darkness of the frontier. I've come to know depravity firsthand and am now able to perceive it under any guise. I think I can afford myself a modicum of truth. Who is the enemy of the Imperium? It has three faces. The inhuman Xenos, who wish death upon us simply because they are unlike us. The pitiful subhuman mutants, abominations that wish death upon us because they envy us and are ashamed of themselves. And the archenemy that reigns in the Immaterium, which wishes death upon us by its very nature.
Idira starts giggling at Hieronymus's words.
He forgot to mention people like me. My whole life people have told me I'm filth on the face of humanity. It's poison, it's bane.
She stops abruptly with a sob.
Tell me about Incendia Corda. Have you heard of a spice Corda, pirate, blasphemer, xenophile, and egregious apostate? Incendia is her heir, and a rarity among rogue traders. The protection of the holy warrant typically leads to the swift atrophy of conscience and pious dread, but not in Incendia's case. She relentlessly hunts down pirates and firebrands, and brings rebelling colonies to repentance, establishing strict discipline. The weight of her wrath is great indeed. The colonies she punishes are girded with orbital rings of heretic corpses as a warning to the survivors. As her personal confessor and guide, I find no end to the joy her triumphs in faith bring me. Iconoclast, since when is orchestrating massacres a sign of virtue? They aren't massacres. This is a war on apostasy and treason, and in this war, Incendia Corda is inflicting grievous wounds upon the wicked. Thank you for your explanations. Think nothing of it, young von Valancius. Neither my past nor my present hold any secrets. But take heed when gazing into my heart, for many dark thoughts lurk within. What is troubling your heart? Bad omens? Dark times have come. Ships from the Imperium barely appear in the Coronis expanse anymore. In Footfall's shadow quarters, Tane thrives, and the people here are corrupt enough to succumb to it gladly. Rumors around the expanse say that the accursed Xenos have grown bold, and are rearing their heads. They attack ships and settlements, walk under the suns of Imperium worlds like kings instead of cowering in the shadows. What next? What adversities await us if such disgrace is happening already?
He shakes his head sternly.
There's more and more talk of how poorly things are going in the expanse. Some days it seems I can't take 2 steps without hearing some peasant pontificating on the matter. Humph. Even if it is as dire as they say, the von Valancius realm will not crumble under the blows of fate, no matter how devastating. Chin up, Lord Captain. This is no time to lose heart and lament your lot. Not only is your hope false, it is also dangerous. Among his servants, there have been people of greater integrity who sullied themselves in their attempts to rise above the rest. Tell me more about the Drusians. We are a sanctioned imperial cult which honors Saint Drusus, scourge of the Baal children, bane of Xenos. Just as he once fearlessly ventured into the Calixis sector and spearheaded its conquest, so do we travel to untamed reaches and expand the Imperium's borders. We are pilgrims and scouts who descend into the darkness of lawless sectors, and our eyes are inured to vice and filth. Just as Saint Drusus found his martyr's death and was reborn in faith, so do we search for the purifying power of trials and suffering.
From the folds of his black robe, he produces a thin pamphlet.
Read this. It contains the basics of our dogma. Perhaps you too will sense the truth in Saint Drusus's words.
This thin pamphlet exudes a faint caustic smell, likely that of fresh inscriber ink. Our being is steeped in degradation, and no longer can we imagine existing outside it. Are you capable of perceiving the depths to which this heinous miasma has rooted itself in our lives? Pompous aristocrats indulge in despicable revelries behind their tall palace walls, and planetary masters vie to possess the greatest luxuries while you and your family choke on your corpse starch slop after a grueling work shift. Millions of soldiers die in the dirt to combat xenoprofanity while their commanders, their duties forgotten, squabble among themselves, seeing every death as nothing more than a stone in the monument of their own glory. Scholars pursue forbidden and mind-twisting knowledge, the righteous break their oaths and spread lies, Arbites thieve worse than any criminal would, and you are sullied by vicious degeneracy of which you are not even aware. This pernicious rot is all-pervading, for there is none who has not succumbed to it. Does it frighten you to be in their midst? In our midst? Will you carry on calmly living in this impious loathsomeness, hiding your gaze from the world and hiding the world from your gaze? Will you become like a mindless servitor, or will you honestly realize the sheer baseness and repulsiveness of creation? And then you will renounce your former life. And you will accept your new self. And relinquish your worldly affairs. And follow the road that was paved for us by Saint Drusus, warrior and conqueror of sectors uncharted. And leave behind the sacrilege-ridden world, and, as is our immortal emperor's will, join our sacred crusade to walk the path that leads out of the murk of apostasy and irreverence and into the darkness of the unknown and unfathomed. It is in this darkness that we will light the candles of true faith, for only in their fires can we still find motes of light.
Who was Saint Drusus? He was a great saint, irrepressible and decisive. Drusus served the emperor as a simple member of the guard, who fought in the glorious Angevin crusade and rose to the rank of general. It was a grueling conquest. The Imperium invaded the Calixis sector, back then a savage expanse populated by Xenos and heretics. Drusus delivered many defeats unto the enemies of humanity. He brought down the twisted kings on Acreage, liberated the planet Drea from the unholy dark demons, and had many triumphs. But then they encountered a race of unholy Xenos. Rivers of blood flowed. Gulgena Angevin died in his headquarters. The crusade was about to crumble. But then, we received unexpected help from a foe. The Xenos sent their assassins to the great Drusus, but the emperor's will shielded his servant from the attack. Slain but resurrected through a miracle, Drusus asserted himself at the head of the Angevin crusade as its lord militant, and saw the Xenos' extermination through to the end. He brought the Calixis sector to accord and was proclaimed a living saint.
Funny. The story of St. Drusus you know is completely different.
I've heard accounts that Drusus wasn't a guardsman, but an aristocrat, and it was contenders for Galgena's position who made an attempt on his life. And he didn't rise from the dead. The assassin just decided not to kill him.
Hieronymus looks at you with a smirk.
Well, of course you've heard that. But just consider for a moment whose words you are repeating right now. The one who put them into your head, do they mean the Imperium well? Think on it. Who were you in the past? A wretched fiend. Blinded by my ambitions, I served in my home planet's Adeptus Administratum Division. I was a shrewd and sly bureaucrat, and I soared to great heights, to the very chair of prefect. In 30 years, I turned my home from a withered fringe colony into a prosperous world. Our wealth grew as we bloomed. But the bloom was a veneer for rot. Opulence had depraved us, and luxury had seduced us with its sordid promises. The planet's denizens no longer wished to pray or work, they only sought entertainment and dangerous philosophies. 1,000 vile heresies and 1,000,000 appalling vices bred on my world like mold on a Nutribar. In those days, I saw with my own eyes the shameless ugliness of the soul. I repented of my hubris, left the position of prefect, and became a traveling missionary. I have been one ever since. As for my world, 20 years later, the Holy Inquisition consigned it to purifying flames. The Emperor is merciful for allowing you a chance at redemption. Who said I had redeemed myself? I doomed an entire planet to degeneracy. You think a decade or two of wandering with a mission is enough to atone for that? No, I am a poor excuse for a shepherd in his eyes.
Your words about the past are drowned in murky hues of sickly green, and your talk of the present falls in gray flakes of ash upon the shoulders of your listeners. Sorrow truly weighs heavily on you, Reverend Hieronymus. And that is why the fire in your words is devoid of golden radiance. The faded flickers of teachings leave nothing but black soot on their souls.
I have no more questions. I am surprised that you had any to begin with. I must take my leave. The Emperor protects.
Argenta gestures for your attention.
Rogue Trader, I would like to remind you about Reverend Hieronymus's request. He asked us to search for a potential cultist den in Footfall's Shadow Quarters.
You seem weighed down by something.
What? No.
Argenta shakes her head and rubs her temples tiredly.
Apologies, Rogue Trader. Being here on Footfall is difficult for me. It's a minor, personal weakness, but I'm as ready to fight as ever. It will have no effect on my combat skills.
If something is troubling you, tell me. Perhaps I can help?
Argenta shoots you a wary look.
I suppose I could share it with you, but the tale will be long, and I will have to start from the beginning. I wasn't born in the Expanse. I was sent here to be a guardian of a reliquary on Footfall, but my ship became caught in a warp anomaly, and although it lasted only days for those on board, decades had flown by in re-space. When at last I arrived on Footfall, it felt like I had been erased from time. No one was waiting for me on this side of the maw. The people who were supposed to greet me, who knew about my imminent arrival, had died. The reliquary that should have been mine to safeguard had instead been taken under the protection of Reverend Hieronymus and his brethren. They were more than up to the task. They had no need of my help. Footfall became my cage. I didn't know who I was or what purpose I had here. The way back to Calixis seemed like another trap. Even if I were to find a ship headed there, my sector, my order, they too would have lived decades without me by that point. Whenever I'm reminded of those months spent on Footfall, it feels like I'm falling into a pit. I hope the rumors of cultists turn out to be true. I can't wait to prove with my bolter that the world and the Imperium need me.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k. Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
How and why did your stay on Footfall come to an end? Something must have changed.
Yes. A sign, almost a portent, showed me the right path. But it's not something I can speak of like this, on the street, in this den of malice. Let us be on our way. All I'll say is that on Footfall I met Lady Theodora and joined her, and that was the end of my languishing in this place.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
Speech mod for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, female voice speech test.
You know Footfall better than me. Do you think the rumors of heretics are true?
There was a time when I'd have said it was likely a fabrication. One can say many things about the Casbalica mission and the other shady operators on Footfall, but even those thugs are loyal to the Emperor, and so they mercilessly exterminate outright heretics in their territory. But now, heretics have launched an open attack on a rogue trader ship. A member of your dynasty, Conrad Voivir, has turned out to be one of them. And Footfall itself is sinking deeper and deeper into madness. In these times of strife, I'm willing to believe in heretics who openly perform their dark rituals and brazenly mark their dens with sacrilegious symbols.
Remind me, what was it that Reverend Hieronymus wanted from us?
He told us to look for sun symbols inscribed in blue and gold. Hieronymus's congregation suspects certain suspicious individuals of heresy, and rumor has it that this is how they mark their hideout.
We must keep going.
The Whispers told me a secret.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Rising sun symbol. It seems oddly repulsive, even sinister.
That wasn't
This
so
fake door is
difficult.
connected to a mine trigger.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Over there!
It's about time.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
Halt! I noticed something.
Attention to detail is the key to success. Over there. We should deal with this.
I better myself through my service.
Follow my lead! Take a knee and bow before me.
Your Emperor won't save you!
Not a problem for me. Nothing I can't do. Suits my purposes.
Taste the navigator's might. If only that were possible.
Anything else?
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Why did I not foresee this?
Indeed. I will do my duty. At your beck and call.
Such is the will of chaos.
Requests approved. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Running binaric override.
Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. Each strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. That is not the Emperor's will. For you, my Emperor! I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
Was that you? Or what an unfortunate
The air is filled with
turn
evil
of fate.
whispers.
But of course. On it.
Already done?
Dare you!
I'll pass. All too easy.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
My ears are ringing.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
The scriptural prognosis is
Stop it!
favorable. Running binaric override.
If I may.
That's nothing worse.
Insects begin crawling under your skin.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Advancing. My vow is function successfully terminated. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
As the Emperor, this is why I was chosen. I know what is to come.
You didn't stand a chance!
Will do. Stop mocking me. Anything else?
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
High momentum.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline! Suits my purposes. Not a problem for me.
Deliver us!
Already done.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Another foe painted black.
Argenta rushes to the last living cultist and silently, furiously punches him in the face.
Blaspheming heretic. Who were you praying to? I know those words, that call to a lore.
Argenta doesn't get to finish. The cultist, having dropped to his knees, interrupts her with grating, rasping laughter.
Of course you know them. I recognize you too, lackey to the corpse on the throne. Haven't you already experienced the power of the true God? Didn't you flee from us, shedding tears?
Argenta recoils as if from a blow, but then steps forward, grabs the cultist by the scruff of his neck, and makes him look into her eyes, burning like embers.
I am one of the Adeptus Auritas, and I have never, not once in my life, fled from heretics and betrayers of humankind. Can't you see he's trying to get under your skin?
Idira mutters.
I bet he wants a quick bullet to the head instead of a bonfire.
Despite her tone, she is looking around anxiously and rubbing her temples.
Smells of a dark future, like a noose around the neck.
Argenta, wait. The heretic must be interrogated. What do you want to know, servants of the corpse emperor? The names of my brethren? How many of us there are? Where we are? I will tell you myself. We are myriad, and we are everywhere. Soon, very soon, you will hear our voices. And when you hear them at your back, so close you can feel our breath, then you will know the power of the true God. Just how many of you vermin are there? First Reich had minorities, now here.
Pascal pulls a number of instruments out of his robe. You would bet your life that the purpose of these items isn't to disassemble machines. He says casually.
Should you encounter difficulties during the information extraction process, I would recommend precise targeting of ganglia.
The cultist chuckles arrogantly but pales under Pascal's calmly probing gaze.
How do you know Argenta? Have you seen her on footfall before? Not on footfall.
The cultist laughs hoarsely.
In another place, she flew right in, like a bird into a snare.
Argenta is staring at the cultist, her eyes wide. As if against her will, she whispers two words.
Solus Prime.
Argenta? What is he talking about?
She snaps out of it, as if emerging from a reverie.
A planet, a place, it doesn't matter. I know these heretics. I fought them and was gravely wounded. But I swear, I never turned from them and ran.
She turns to the cultist, her eyes filled with cold fury.
If you truly have seen me on Solace Prime, someone among you must know a way to get there. Do you have your own ship? A navigator? Answer me.
Ships and maps, roads and doors, we have them all, but our paths are not for you. The true God spins his web, and you are but a fly caught in it. But where is the spider?
The cultist's eyes fill with madness.
I need something more coherent.
Rogue Trader, we won't get anything from this madman. As for my part in the story, I will tell it, but not here, not in his presence.
Who or what is this true God you keep mentioning? You will know, in time.
The cultist gives you a wicked smile painted with the fresh blood on his lips.
End him, Argenta. You can kill me, servants of the Corpse Emperor, but you can't stop the victory of the true God. The edge of daybreak is nigh, and the hour of his triumph approaches.
Silence hangs for a minute. Then Argenta turns to you and shrugs nonchalantly.
That's it. We fulfilled Reverend Hieronymus's request, which means I am now free. I can continue my travels with you, Rogue Trader. Before we leave this den, let us round up what remains of the blasphemers. I would like to cleanse this place with purifying flame, but perhaps we can find clues that might tell us where these heretics came from, or if they have any more associates.
Argenta lowers her head wearily.
We need to talk, but it can wait. Let's meet on the ship when it's time to depart Footfall.
None shall stand in my way.
My
Unlocked.
success is an irrefutable certainty.
A new challenge for me. I'll lay claim to the stars. It's about time!
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay. I will not. I woke up with a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burned alive, begging and sobbing and howling. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. I refuse. Doubt is for the weak. That is not the Emperor's will. This is unacceptable. I'll do it. Onward! I will not! Faith without deeds is worthless.
I won't tolerate weakness. None shall stand in my way.
Rough day?
You have no idea.
I just might. That's the second bottle you've downed.
Jai Hidari. Falco sends his regards.
And what does that unholy scion of a Grox and a Brahan want from me this time? Oh, wait, I don't really care. My sole plans for tonight are drowning my grief in a sea of Amasak.
We'll give you grief, all right. Get out!
Don't think so, Ashmag. And tell Falco to come himself next time.
Hidari, I am tired of your mess. Out! Get some sleep. We'll talk about settling up later.
Okti Shireen, light of my eyes. Can't you see my soul is full of sadness? Have you no heart at all? Let go of your material concerns and let me grieve in peace. Have we met somewhere before?
Have we met somewhere before?
The woman looks at you with the glassy eyes of a drunk, and you notice the 2 empty bottles that had been keeping her company before you arrived. She looks completely out of place in this dingy, smoky bar. The fancy attire, the abundance of jewelry, the implants plated with precious metals, her appearance not only screams wealth, but also audacity, for only an audacious person would flaunt their wealth in a place like this.
Greetings, Shireen. With whom do I have the honor of speaking? Well then, here's to our meeting. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that you're someone special, since you've been granted an audience with the Liege of Footfall himself. It's always a pleasure to make the acquaintance of someone powerful. And the timing couldn't be better. Jai Haidari at your service. Professional trader, shrewd commercial broker, and, may he steal my tongue if I'm lying, the most honest dealer on footfall. Nonetheless, we all have our problems, and at times even one's many merits aren't enough to solve them. Perhaps it would be no trouble for a person with your kind of power and standing to assist someone with my kind of predicament. I have heard a great deal about how open-minded the members of the von Valancius dynasty are, and Lady Theodora especially.
What do you need help with?
You see, Shireen, there's one cardinal rule on footfall. Anything goes as long as it doesn't get in the way of business. I'm someone who's been able to exploit that rule to the fullest. And in recent years, I've hit it so big, I've become a speck of sand in someone's green eye. They used to throw small wrenches into my dealings here and there. Well, now they've decided to really put their backs into it. Some rats stolen my cargo and dragged it off to the seediest part of the Shadow Quarters. A crummy place even for connoisseurs of footfall's unique atmosphere. When I asked the Leech for protection, we had a mutual misunderstanding. I believe Vladium, in a most lamentable fashion, has forgotten his duties as guardian of the downtrodden and wronged. So I'm in desperate need of a new one. And you, Shireen, fit the bill perfectly. All I need is for you to drop by one dark corner of Footfall's Shadow Quarters and pound it into the thieves' heads that taking Haidari's property carries certain risks.
Jay appears to be a serious operator on footfall. The Leech's refusal to help means the loss of a potential ally. So Jay is encroaching on his turf. If Vladimir is not responsible for the disappearance of Jay's cargo, he will certainly benefit greatly from it.
I suspect that Vladimir wants to keep the cargo out of your hands, and I want to put him in his place. If the Liege is neglecting his duties, I shall become your patron.
May the Exalted One bless you and your progeny. Then here's what we'll do. We shouldn't be seen together before we make it to the safe house. I'll head there first. I'll take my own special route so I won't be spotted. Right. Here, that's where those ashmags are keeping the stolen cargo. Out the bar, over the bridge, and to the left. There in the depths you'll find a small courtyard, through which you can get to the place. I'll be waiting nearby. You can come when it suits you. But the sooner you do, the better. I'll see you then, Shireen.
A new challenge for me? I'll lay claim to the stars. It's about time.
Lord Captain, do you think this enterprise is wise? I wouldn't be surprised if this all turns out to be a trap.
I concur with Master Viserion. This place reminds me of the maintenance modules on Urak 5. All the colors are so grubby.
Submit, and you'll die quickly. Nothing I can't do. All too easy. Nothing I can't do. Suits my purposes. Not a problem for me.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
As the Emperor commands, I act. You, my Emperor!
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Let's make it quick. Just a minor setback.
This is why I was chosen! I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Kill the Ashmags. Aim for the fuel barrels. They go up just beautifully. And then stand well back.
Going somewhere?
Shireen, take cover away from the barrels.
Let's get to it.
I've suffered worse.
Out of my way.
I'm a mentor.
Was that you? Or anything is?
Hold on.
Let's get to it! My precious has failed me. Scared yet?
Here we go.
Show me what you've got.
Let's get to it.
High momentum. Request approved. My vow is to serve. Request approved.
Victory is imminent. It will be done. Target well struck. For von Valanciers! I will do my duty. That's not the Seneschal's job. I took care of this one. It will be done. Indeed, one fewer target. I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
High momentum.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. I'm not accustomed to duty demands.
You, my Emperor! I am his will made manifest. I'll do it. Eradicate it. Faith without each strike is a prayer.
If I may? Another foe painted black.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury! I'll do it.
See the servitors?
doing.
They're slow,
Usually.
but they hit hard. Don't let them get too close.
You're no fun.
Let's make it quick.
I'm here, maggots.
My ears are ringing.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Someone else can do this. Follow my lead. Victory is imminent. At your beck and call. It will be done. I will do my duty. Suits my purposes. Victory is reduced to dust. My place is at the fore. It will be done. I shall not fear. I am fear incarnate. Nothing I can't do. All too easy.
That is foolishness. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
As the Emperor comes eradicated.
I am a navigator, not a servant.
I've suffered worse.
Two, 3, 5. Thank the Exalted One. Those Ashmags didn't have time to make off with anything yet.
Jay carefully inspects the containers emblazoned with markings from some unknown freight operator, then smiles and touches the comm bead in her ear.
Give me 2 minutes, Shireen. I'll send the coordinates to my loyal crew who will deliver my property somewhere safe. And done.
Jay removes her hand from her ear and turns to you.
We're good. Now how about we relocate to a more pleasant and private space to discuss the details of our deal, specifically payment for your efforts.
What, we're just going to leave your priceless cargo here unattended?
Nothing to worry about. After all the ruckus we've caused here, I doubt anyone will go anywhere near the containers. I am, however, infinitely flattered by your concern for our property.
I hope your vaunted wisdom is worth all this trouble.
Jay opens her mouth to reply when you hear the sound of many footsteps behind you.
Stop right there, in the name of the Liege.
The gaunt, pale-skinned man in grimy clerical robes glances at you and immediately falls to his knees obsequiously.
Your Excellency, please forgive my vehemence, most noble Styx. I never expected to encounter such eminent persons in this corner of Footfall.
Most noble Excellency?
Jay purses her lips slightly and shoots you a confused look.
I am Vladane Tokara's personal agent.
The man hesitates, choosing his words carefully.
I came here to remove from criminal circulation a shipment, the distribution of which is banned in the lands of Footfall, horrendous xeno-heresy that has been fraudulently delivered to a bastion of the Holy Imperium.
He looks at Jay.
I do not doubt for a moment, most noble Styx, that your presence here is merely a misunderstanding brought about by another's manipulations.
It is too great a coincidence that the Liege representative should arrive in the Shadow Quarters just after Jay has recovered her rightful spoils. It seems that the guards reported the problems with the shipment over the Vox, and not to just anyone, but to the Liege's personal agent. Vladane Tokara knew about the shipment from the start and planned to take it for himself and get rid of Jay if he could. Behold, the grubby, underhanded struggle between cold traders. And had it not been for your impromptu deal struck in the bar, Vladane might have succeeded.
And don't forget to tell him that I'm not mad. But I will be collecting the debt sometime.
Jay watches him hurry away, then looks at you.
I wish I could see Vladame's face when he finds out he almost stepped on the toes of one of the most powerful people in the Expanse. Listen, Styx. I'm genuinely sorry about this confusion. Vladame and I have had our difficulties, but I never thought he'd want to clean me out and do away with me in some dark corner. At least, not so soon. If you hadn't agreed to our deal, Shireen, my gang and I would already be floating in orbit around one of Footfall's asteroids. And, yes, my shipment contains Xeno artifacts, possession of which is a death sentence for any commoner. But you, Shireen, do not strike me as a commoner. If I had told you directly, you would have become, shall we say, complicit. But since those illicit words did not escape my lips, you would merely be agreeing to help an unfortunate soul, me, to recapture a few containers. My sincerest wish was to protect you from any unnecessary trouble, Shireen. I swear by the Exalted One. And I do hope that this, misunderstanding will not affect our future cooperation.
This statement is true, with the exception that you yourself are an uneducated laywoman and a thief who ought to stay away from the technological perversities of non-humans. I am now requesting your preventive disposal.
Uneducated? Me? I've held things in my hands that you, cog for brains, can only dream of in your oil-soaked data fantasies. Stop hiding behind piety and law. You're simply defending your clique's monopoly on anything and everything of interest and monetary value.
Tell me about your business on Footfall, the truth of it, and don't leave anything out.
All right, then. This isn't my first year in the Expanse. It's not my first year in business either. I've sat at the negotiating table with all sorts, not just loot hunters or smugglers either, but with Xenos, ones intelligent enough to believe that mutual benefit was a better outcome of our meeting than mutual destruction. I know what the Ecclesiarchy has to say about that. But speaking from the bottom of my heart, I know where the line is between an ordinary deal and a betrayal of humanity. And I never cross it.
A principled rogue who can think on her feet and is not afraid of inhumans. I like you more and more, Jay Haydari.
There are no chance encounters when you are loved by the Exalted One. I like you more and more too, Shireen.
Jay winks and flashes you a captivating smile.
A rogue trader could use someone with your talents and connections, Jay. I would like to see you in my retinue.
Exalted One bless you and your entire dynasty. I wouldn't say no to marking the occasion properly. It's not every day you embark on a brilliant new business partnership.
Abelard gives you a look of reproach.
You sully the Von Valancius name by inviting people like her into your retinue, Lord Captain. The decision is yours, but do not be surprised if unsavory rumors start to spread on Footfall.
Argenta regards Jay.
It is a strange circle you are forming around yourself, rogue trader. Sister Argenta.
Jay gives her an almost lecherous once-over.
I've heard all about your deeds on Footfall, but I never would have guessed there was an angelic beauty behind all the idle gossip. And while we're at it, Shireen, when were you going to reveal your true identity to me?
Jay cocks her head to one side curiously.
I am infinitely flattered by your attention, but if I had known I was talking to a rogue trader, not an envoy of one, I would have shown some decorum.
I wanted to talk like normal people do. For a man of my status, it's a rare treat.
That is so human, your lordship. I guess people at the top have a lot more in common with regular folk than some might think. Either way, I'm entirely willing to join your retinue. From now on, my knowledge and experience are entirely at your disposal. Oh, and one more thing. If you're interested in a rather lucrative offer, one that can give the Von Valancius Protectorate a leg up, I'd say now isn't the time to be thinking about such things, but once we get back to your ship, perhaps you could spare me a minute. Shireen?
The coal trader who recently joined the rogue trader's retinue is ready to conduct business big and small. The Lord Captain can listen to Jay's intriguing business propositions on the Captain's Bridge.
Victory awaits. We need to investigate.
Form A/716B is valid for up to 11 hours from the placement of the stamp. You have submitted it after 14 hours.
A familiar figure turns to you. Heinrich van Calix, interrogator of the Ordo Xenos, bows his head respectfully.
Lord Captain. Honored interrogator, what a surprise. Did you, perchance, leave something in your cabin? Not at all, First Officer Wersurian. I'm not in the habit of leaving a trail. But I thank you for your concern. I am pleased to see you again, Heinrichs.
Heinrichs allows himself a hint of a smile.
I'm glad to hear that my presence aboard your ship did not leave you with any unpleasant memories. I hope your disposition won't change once I have explained the reason for my visit. I was able to contact my mentor and report the tragic events that transpired on Rykad Minories. I also received some information from my agents regarding the movements and actions of enemies of humanity, including the Xenos that we're assuming were involved in the theft of the star. According to their findings, the threat now hangs over other worlds, this time yours, Lord Captain.
Heinrichs clears his throat and begins in a pointedly official tone.
By the order of Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazer, whose duty is to stand sentinel over the Coronis Expanse, the rogue trader of House von Valancius is to take on board the agent of the Most Holy Inquisition and provide escort and support in deeds great and small that serve to safeguard the territories of the Imperium against its enemies. This decree is effective immediately upon announcement, and remains in effect until decided otherwise by His Excellency Calcazer.
Idira's whisper is barely audible.
All I got from it is that ridding ourselves of this snitch won't be easy.
Heinrichs, would you mind translating the torrent of verbiage you just unleashed upon me?
His mouth twists slightly.
The Lord Inquisitor has deemed that my presence aboard your ship and in your retinue would be significantly more beneficial to the fight against heresy and evil than my return to my mentor's side. Our parting before our arrival on Footfall was premature. I can't really say no, can I?
Heinrich studies you for a moment, then ever so slightly, as if not wanting anyone else to see, shakes his head.
What exactly caused this need to rejoin my crew? The cause is the activity of humanity's enemies, including the cult of the Final Dawn. In my absence, the situation in the Coronis Expanse has changed. I have received an exhaustive report from my agents. This heresy has taken root in the region where the von Valancius worlds lie. You probably already know about the fate of the industrial world of Kiavagama. If not, then I will share what details I know, but not here. Better to talk on board, where we will not be overheard. I, rogue trader Styx von Valancius, welcome the agent of the Golden Throne aboard my ship and take on the responsibility of assisting him in the fight against the evil that threatens humanity.
Heinrichs gives a reserved nod.
An answer befitting a righteous servant of the Emperor.
If duty has brought you aboard the rogue trader's ship once more, then such is the Emperor's will. Welcome back, Interrogator.
Thank you, sister. It is an honor to be traveling with one of the blessed Adepta Sororitas.
Master Van Calix.
Cass's voice is brimming with genuine joy, which he immediately hides behind a facade of highborn primness.
Since you are with us once more, I do hope you will find time to finish our conversation about the literary works of Kronhaller the Blessed.
I will make every effort, Lady Orselio. I must also deliver this to you.
Heinrichs pulls out a sealed letter.
The Lord Inquisitor specified that the contents of this envelope are for your eyes only. I would ask you to read it as soon as you have the time.
May the Emperor's faithful forever remain in the light of his favor. Let me first express my condolences on the tragic death of the most honorable Theodora von Valancius. Nevertheless, I was elated to learn that the warrant of the rogue trader has been passed to a worthy and promising heir. These words are not hollow compliments, but rather the Inquisition's official opinion of your person. As fate would have it, you have taken the reins of the von Valancius dynasty in an hour most dire, when grim portents of dark events to come are surfacing throughout the Coronis Expanse. I have been duty-bound to become the first sentinel who sees the approaching threat, and I hereby alert you that it is indeed coming. Our loyalty and resolve will be tested. People such as you and I will become the pillars that will unite the Emperor's frightened children and inspire them to fight back. And so I greet you as my dependable ally and assure you of my favor. From now on, you have a trusted friend within the holy orders of the Emperor's Inquisition and a receptive confidant on whom you can rely. Should the dark times ahead require you to make questionable choices, have no doubt that such an incident will be examined in an exceedingly temperate fashion that rules out the most radical forms of judgment. I have faith in the success of our partnership and thank you for your contribution, both past and future. Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazer.
That is everything for the time being. Are you headed to the ship? Or do you still have business on footfall? Whatever the case, I can either wait for you on board or accompany you as part of your retinue.